Let's talk about the top 5 mistake that job seekers make. Now, you may be in the market for a new job at this moment, or you might find yourself by choice or not by choice in the market for one in the near future. We're bringing in Michael Ray Newman, who is a workplace and employment expert this morning. Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Good morning. Very good. Thank you.
All right, let's talk about the top 5 mistakes that job seekers make. I'm sure that some are pretty evident, but some might be ones that we say, oh, I didn't think about that. So let's run down the list so we can do a little better if we're out looking for a job anytime in the near future.
Sounds good.
Number 1.
I'm going to guess, I would guess something having to do with, and we hear this a lot, Michael, I'm guessing maybe something having to do with don't do anything stupid with your Facebook.
Social media, brother. That should be the number one coaching thing of all. That's what I laugh at that, but the reason I'm laughing, we laugh for 2 reasons in life. 1, because it's funny, or 2, because it's true. And that is very true, brother.
So what are you thinking on that? Did that make the top 5?
That is in our top 5 for sure. When we do our we do resume training and job seeking training for individuals, that for sure is in the top 5. Cleaning up your social media ASAP.
All right, so when we're going to meet with a prospective employer, what do we need to do that we might not be doing when it comes to our resume or presenting ourselves to that potential employer?
Well, there's a few things on, as you've seen on there. There's, number 1, here's we get in such a routine of trying to just mass push out our resume. It's like a numbers game, we think. Take the time to try to customize it a little bit. Especially the people that are more seasoned workers, now that we've been in the workplace for several years, and there's a lot of 40-somethings competing with 20-somethings for positions, and they're getting attention. Don't put everything on your resume, and also look for keywords to kind of match things up to customize it a little bit.
Can you speak on keywords a little bit? I've heard about this before, especially when it comes to online submission of resumes. Is there actual software that corporations use to find keywords in your resume to see if you're a fit?
Yeah, there is actually software that you can go to, don't get too technical with it. You can go to Google, find out what they're saying in their resume, and then find out what they're asking in their job description, and then Google the job description, and then from there you'll be able to find all kind of keywords for job description matching whatever the position that you're applying for, and then you can implement those words into your resume.
That's very interesting, and you're still a firm believer in a cover letter then?
Oh, yes. Cover letters are... Here's the deal. We all are in sales. You've heard that, right? Everybody's in sales. Some people say I'm one of the best salesmen for talking my wife into sticking her ass. And so that's a perfect opportunity not to go into a huge, long dissertation, but to be able to put something in there that's going to catch their eye to sell yourself a little bit. And then don't be afraid to pull, to allude, go back to that fact during the interview when you're speaking to the person.
Okay, that's good because I guess resumes have a standard look to it, but that cover letter gives you at least a little bit of chance to maybe color outside the lines a little bit and maybe reveal a little bit about your personality or something to stand out. That's a great idea. Hey, I have a question going back to the social media part. Michael Ray Newman's joining us here on Memphis Morning News about the top mistakes of job seekers. I mentioned and don't do anything stupid on social media, but can you talk a little bit about LinkedIn and stuff? It helps for people to see that you know people, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely spend some time if you're new to applying for a position. Go to LinkedIn and friend some people, and you can request to be, I don't know if it's called friends on LinkedIn, but we've got a pretty robust LinkedIn. And what you want to do is, and also start following industries in LinkedIn that are like the job that you're applying for. Like if you're applying for a position in a certain industry, look at other like companies in that industry and follow those companies, because when they do go, and they will go and look at your social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, they look at that and your Facebook and your LinkedIn and see the people that you're following. And if you're following and immersed in that kind of job, they're going to be more apt to look at you.
And finally, one thing that you say is very important, and I keep thinking of that commercial, and I can't even think of what it's for, where the guy's still sitting in the job interview and calls to follow up on how the interview went, and he's still sitting in front of the job guy. But you talk about a thank you note or a follow-up of any kind being very important when it comes to a job interview.
Yes, and think about that. There's 2 things there that you just mentioned that are really key. The follow-up call. And sometimes they say, oh, don't follow up and ask. It makes it look like you're desperate. No, really get to know the person that's interviewing you check them out on social media. You can do that as, we've talked before, you can do that, while you're sitting in the lobby when you find out who it is if you need to. And then really take the time to get to know that person's assistant or people around you, start a conversation up so when you do call back and talk to maybe their assistant, maybe not them directly, a lot of times you get inside information. And the thank you letter, it doesn't, we're not talking about a text message or email, a literal thank you note, not a big long dissertation again, but a thank you note handwritten to send to that person with something that may have been said in the interview that'll trigger and to set you apart. That figure is low. I really don't think that many people do it. It says 57% of people do not write that thank you letter. I think it's higher than that. And think about how that sets you apart. That automatically puts you in the top half.
All right, very good. Michael Ray Newman, thank you for joining us on Memphis Morning News, talking about some of the mistakes that job seekers make. And then you leave us with a tip that is actually on the positive note. Thank you so much for taking us full circle this morning on Memphis Morning News.
Hey, all right, guys. Call me if you need me. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
We sure will. Michael Ray Newman, workplace and employment expert.